I wasn't even invited to my brother's wedding. It didn't matter that I'd spent the last few years sacrificing everything to help him and his fiancée. No, Laura made sure of it. The text hit my phone like a slap across the face. "You're not invited, Laura doesn't want you there." The message was short, direct, and final. My own brother, Michael, sent it. The one I'd always supported. The one I'd given nearly $70,000 to in the name of love and family. The thing is, I never expected gratitude. I didn't need any thanks or praise, just some acknowledgement that I mattered. But I realized, too late, that I'd never mattered at all. Not to Laura. Not to Michael. I'd been nothing more than a bank account to them, an endless source of money, with no regard for the sacrifices I made, the time I gave up, or the emotional weight I carried. And when I tried to talk to Michael about it, when I confronted him with everything Laura had been doing to me, isolating me from every wedding event, spreading lies about me behind my back, even accusing me of having mental health issues, he sided with her. Always. That's when the anger started to burn inside me. The kind of rage that had been festering for too long, only now it wasn't just disappointment. It was betrayal, pure and simple. They'd used me. And I was done being their pawn. If you're enjoying this, please subscribe and share, your support keeps the stories coming. I tried to think back to all the times I'd been there for Michael. All the little things I'd done, whether it was giving him money to help pay off his student loans or driving him across state lines for job interviews. I'd done it all, without a second thought, because he was my brother, my family. But all the while, Laura had been working behind the scenes, weaving her lies, turning him against me. The worst part? I didn't even realize it was happening until it was too late. She had been manipulating him, making me out to be the villain while she played the role of the sweet, innocent fiancé. I hadn't even been at the engagement party, or the bridal shower. Laura made sure of that, of course. She made it clear that I wasn't welcome in their world. And I let it happen. I let myself be shut out of every moment that should have been mine to share. But not anymore. Not after this. I spent the next few hours pacing back and forth, my thoughts racing. I couldn't let them get away with this. I had to do something. And that something meant calling my lawyer friend, Tina. She'd always been there when I needed advice, and she wasn't going to let me sit back and take this without a fight. "Here's the thing," I told her, voice trembling with a mixture of fury and resolve. "I paid for most of the wedding. All those vendors, the venue, the catering, Laura's wedding dress. I paid for it all. I'm going to cancel everything. I'm going to take back what's mine." Tina's voice was calm, but there was an edge of excitement I could hear in it. "Are you sure about this, Samantha? This could turn everything upside down." I didn't hesitate. "They've already turned everything upside down for me. I'm done being the one who always bends. It's my turn to take control." I hung up the phone, heart pounding. My next steps were clear. I wasn't just going to let them humiliate me, not when I'd given up everything to make their dream wedding a reality. I was going to reclaim what was mine. Every last penny. And if Laura wanted to make me the villain, well, I'd show her just how wrong she was. But as I made my calls to the vendors, as I started the paperwork, a part of me wondered what the fallout would be. Was I prepared for the destruction I was about to cause? What would Michael think when he found out? And more importantly, what would Laura do when she realized I was taking everything back? The thought of watching her face when she realized the wedding was collapsing, when the venue, the caterers, and the photographers all pulled out, made my stomach churn. But I couldn't stop now. I wouldn't stop. I was about to take a stand. But the real shock was still to come. By the time I hung up with Tina, I felt a strange mix of dread and exhilaration. The kind you get right before a storm hits. I knew this was going to cause chaos, but for the first time in months, I felt like I was in control. I wasn't the one being used anymore. I began with the vendors. The florist, the photographer, the caterer, each call was a silent rebellion. It felt surreal. Like I was unraveling their little fairy tale, one thread at a time. "I'm canceling the contract," I told each of them. "I want a partial refund. If you need confirmation, I'll send it over." There was a change in the family situation. I didn't even bother with explanations. This was my money, my investment, and they didn't get to throw me aside like some inconvenience. The wedding wasn't going to happen without me. Not this time. Then came the hardest part, Laura's wedding dress. The $10,000 dress I'd paid for. The one that hung in her closet like a symbol of her victory over me. I could practically hear her smug smile through the phone when she'd picked it out, all while I silently agreed to cover the cost. It was just one more reminder of how I'd been swallowed whole by their demands. I called the bridal shop and arranged for the dress to be picked up. "Sorry, I'm not ready to pay the full balance just yet," I said, "but I do want to take the dress back." My sister-in-law changed her mind. I wasn't sure what I expected, but it certainly wasn't the phone call from Michael an hour later. "I don't understand what's happening, Samantha," he said, his voice tight with frustration. Laura just called me. She's freaking out because she can't get the dress. She says you're canceling everything. What the hell? I'm doing what I should have done a long time ago, I replied, my voice steady. I'm taking back control, Michael. You and Laura have made it clear that I don't matter, that my sacrifices don't count for anything. I'm done being your backup plan. There was a long silence on the other end. Then his voice cracked. I'm sorry, Sam. I didn't know, no, Michael. You didn't know because you didn't want to know. You chose her over me. You let her tear us apart. You've always taken from me without giving anything back. And now I'm done. I heard him sigh, and it felt like the last shred of our bond was finally severed. The silence that followed was heavy, thick with all the things unsaid. But I wasn't done yet. I wasn't just going to let this fizzle out. I had one more card to play. I gathered up all the contracts, receipts, and paperwork. I got a few texts from my mom, demanding answers, then yelling at me for destroying the wedding, but I ignored them. I wasn't just doing this for me. I was doing it for everyone who'd ever been overlooked and used. The real kicker came a few hours later when I picked up the phone again. This time, it was Tina. You won't believe this, she said, excitement in her voice. I looked into it. Laura's been asking Michael for an allowance, a monthly payment. She wants him to contribute to her future happiness. And, this is the part that's gonna blow your mind, she's been digging into his inheritance. I couldn't breathe for a second. What do you mean? The inheritance? The one he's supposed to get when your dad passes. Laura's been trying to position herself as his partner, which means she's trying to get him to leave everything to her. She's been hinting at it for months. It's all about the money, Sam. She's using him for his fortune. I could feel my blood run cold. Everything clicked into place. All those times Laura had pushed me away, made me the villain in their story. It wasn't about family. It wasn't about love. It was about the future she was trying to carve out for herself. For a split second, the thought of it, of how deeply I'd been deceived, hit me like a gut punch. But then the rage came back. Stronger. A fire. I wasn't going to let her do this. Not after everything I'd been through. I was about to expose her, to show Michael the truth about the woman he was about to marry. And I would do it in the most public way possible. Just then, the phone rang again. It was my mom. Her voice trembled with a kind of anger I hadn't heard in years. You've ruined everything, Samantha. The wedding is falling apart. Michael is blaming me, and I don't care, I said, cutting her off. I'm doing what I have to do, Mom. Maybe now you'll see what Laura's really after. But my words weren't enough. I could already hear the tension, the unraveling of my family, spinning out of control. And just